You're watching and listening to the latest Red and Blue review show. For all your Crystal Palace related chat, please like and subscribe across all the usual social media platforms, especially our YouTube channel. This really helps us out. Now, let's get on with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and a massive warm welcome to the Red and Blue Review. My name is Nick Philpott and I'm going to be your host for the next hour. Shortly, it's going to be joined by some superstars of the Red and Blue Review background, and we're going to be looking at yesterday's game away at Wolves and looking forward to the Strasbourg this weekend. Joined, as always, by Mr. Noble. Ian, how are you, my friend?
Good evening, Nick. I'm very well indeed. Good evening, everybody watching. Yes, I'm good, thanks, mate.
Good stuff. Tim Richards from our FAB representative. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you, sir. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all again.
And Teresa Baker. You're going to be doing that for you this evening. Hello, T. How are you, darling?
Yeah, I'm great, thanks, Nick.
I hear you're back at work finally.
Finally, yes. Yay.
Good stuff.
Or
Good
yay.
stuff. And we've got a new boy joined us. Somebody who's a complete and utter freaking stranger to the Red and Blue Review. What was your name again? Introduce yourself, Mr. Holyoke. Welcome back, big man.
Well, Lord, I thought. But anyway, yeah. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, good to be back.
Mate, I've got to tell you, okay, obviously I speak to you regularly, probably 2 or 3 times a week, but I've got to tell you, you're looking well, Gel.
Yeah, I feel a bit better today, to be honest with you. It's a good day. It's just been a long time of just being rubbish. But anyway, we're at Salt Palace, not we?
We are indeed. Good evening,
Thanks,
Mark.
thanks,
Good evening, Ferg. I can see everybody out in the chat. See your names going through. Good evening to each and every one of you, wherever you're watching live. And if you're listening back to us on the podcast on the Monday, you are also as welcome. Thank you for joining us. So we're doing pretty well. I couldn't believe it when all the final whistle went yesterday, and I looked at the league, and we are sitting. I know we're 5th now, but we were sitting 4th. Was that a shock to you, Ian, or did all the results need to go our way?
Well, not really, because if you looked at the league table before yesterday, it was so tight anyway. Constantine'd up, and we were only a couple of points off 4th or 5th. But it's reversed now. We're in there. Where are we? 5th? Are we 5th? Are they?
We're 5th now.
Yeah, we're 5th. So we'll take that, wouldn't we? Of course we would. And there have been games when we've dropped points which we feel we should have had. And we could talk about those, but there would have, could have, should have, and and those would have given us extra points as well. So we've done ever so well. And we were talking about this on the way up to Wolves yesterday, saying that if we didn't have Europe to contend with, could we win? Could we have won this season, the Premier League? Because when you think about those extra games and the depth of our squad, we're fighting on 4 fronts at the moment. But when you think about it, if we didn't have Europe to contend with, we could maybe put more into the Premier League. And look, Leicester did it in 2016, and it's Arsenal's to lose. I mean, City are losing, Liverpool are rubbish, Tottenham are rubbish. There's all the big teams seem to be failing, maybe apart from Arsenal. So, it's a great league to be in this season. It's fantastic. And no reason why we can't finish in the top 6 for sure.
Tim, with the Monday night football game tomorrow night, we could potentially drop down to 6th. Are you happy with our current position, or is Ian right? If we'd have taken a couple of extra results, we could have been pushing top 3.
I think Ian is right, but I think also, to be fair, if you said to anyone before the season started, come almost in December, we're in a cup quarter final, we're well positioned in Europe, and we're 5th in the Premier League, I think everyone would take that, without a blink. So I'm delighted, and we deserve. And the best thing is we deserve to be there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody that's going through, I can see your messages. I'm reading your messages. And Mark, you mentioned the ladies' great win today. I will be covering that later in the show. Gel, where do you see, because we've got a very difficult few weeks ahead of us, would we be right to keep our powder dry now instead of getting too excited until after the, I think, was it the 10th of January is what Gladstone keeps referring to. The 13th, we've got 13 games between now and the 10th of January. Would we be wise to keep our powder dry and not get too excited?
Well, not really. I mean, it's just injuries, and obviously we got AFCON, I think, and we got coming up as well. So we're going to lose 2 or 3 players there. I mean, so we just got so what is it?
So you got Ismaili Sarr potentially, Uche, Riyad if he's fit, and Cheick Doucouré if he's fit. So somewhere between 1 and 4, Jill. You are correct.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think you can probably just say 1, Ian.
Yeah, I was just about to make that point, Jell. I think, it's only Ismaila Sarr that we're going to really miss. You could argue at Shea because he's been on the bench, but the other 2, they haven't even featured at all. So, when they come back, eventually they'll be like new players. I can't see them being selective for their countries anyway. I might be wrong, but so it's only Sarr really. And other clubs, as we've seen there on that graphic we've just put up, are really going to suffer a lot more. I mean, flipping heck, Sunderland, they're losing 7 of their first team. So, it's other teams will suffer. Man United losing Mbeumo, he's their best player. The other clubs are going to suffer as well.
Well, boys, we might go on, Joe.
Just quickly, have you heard of many players actually going? The clubs going to players and go, look, we understand that we've got the World Cup and other bigger. I don't know whether AFCON. I can't. Am I playing it down? But the Premier League is well, no, that's what I'm saying. But the Premier League pays your wages, for your whole contract. Can you turn around and do what some England players have done and just go, do you know what? In fact, I value my career at football, my team level more than I don't know.
No, I don't think you can, Joe. I'll be honest.
If selected, you'd be expected to go, I would think. Go on, Ian.
Yeah, I think every player, whether they play their football, for their country in Africa, Europe, USA, or wherever, any player can turn down a national selection. I mean, Ben White's done it, hasn't he, at Arsenal? He's turned down England selection. He said, I don't want to play for England. Therefore, I'm not going to be in whereas managers want to pick him. So any player can do that. It's within their prerogative. But, obviously most players want to play for their country. It's their biggest honour, isn't it, to do so? So
I think I know we're a Palace podcast, not an England podcast, but the Ben White scenario was actually a fallout with Southgate, and it hasn't got any better it hasn't even changed at all under Tuchel. Yasmin, I know you're out there. I've just seen you flash up on my screen. I need to see you next Monday, please, on the show. Could you make sure you complete the spreadsheet because we need you on here, please? Right. Anyway, so yesterday we had what on paper was an easy trip up to Molineux. Great turnout by the Palace fans. You looked and sounded wonderful. So massive congratulations to each and every one of you that made that trip. You're clearly oiling your throats ahead of Thursday because that's going to be equally as fun, but we'll come on to that later on in the show. Now, I'm delighted to say making her second attempt at the match review is our Miss Baker, Teresa. Over to you.
Yes. Nice change to do a winning match. Not a nice change with Ollie in charge. I mean, this was obviously, it was difficult conditions, as Ian Noble will testify, because he actually went. It was cold. It was wet.
Can we have the lineups, Nigel, please? There you go, Sue.
Thank you very much. I'm not going to read them out. Everyone can read. You can see.
Read them out. I'll read them out for the benefit of the podcast listeners. So Henderson in goal, Munoz, Richards, Lacroix, Gahey, Mitchell. So the back 5, as we would expect. Wharton and Kamada got the nod in the midfield. And the first choice front 3, Pino, Sarr and Mateta leading the line. And we said yesterday in the ground, probably the strongest looking bench we've had for a long time in the Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm delighted to say that he actually used that bench later on in 80 minutes. We had near on wholesale changes. Yeah. Over to you, T. Off you go.
Thank you. So, like I said, it was a gloomy kind of day. It was a wet surface. The ball was slick. The first half, we looked amazing. And within 14 minutes, there was a penalty shout with a foul on Sarr, which went to lines. as you can see. They were saying it was his back foot that was fouled, therefore it was not within the penalty box, which is why there wasn't a penalty awarded. Well,
May I? Any top
By,
six?
by all means, mate. Get in there.
absolutely, Joe.
Any top six club? It's penalty. Don't care. Don't care. Literally, whoever was on VAR yesterday, don't even care. Don't even say his name because he was crap at it. Right? That's a penalty. It's a penalty. It's as simple as that. You can't go his back foot. We've had that with Wilf. Was 1 inch. His tiny toe was ahead of the defender. Get lost. It was a penalty. Should have been a penalty. No problem at all. And a yellow card, you can see almost. Yeah, he's done him. He's literally done him.
Yeah,
Ian,
I agree.
Trees over, mate. Ian, from inside the ground. Number one, how long did that bloody take to adjudicate? And what was the feeling inside the ground? Was that a penalty? On the radio, because I had the TV on and I had the live BBC Radio London commentary going on, and whoever the co-coms was saying, that's a pen, that's a pen.
Yeah.
Ian.
I think it did take a little while for them to reach a conclusion. And certainly all the media, the BBC and TalkSport and others all said the same as Gel is saying, that they felt it was a penalty. In the ground, it's difficult to tell, isn't it? You know, it was some distance away from us. There wasn't a massive appeal from Palace players rather for a penalty.
I must admit, even on TV, and it was difficult to see if it. I mean,
I think
my initial thought was it was.
The slow-mo I've seen back from a certain angle shows the initial contact just outside, and I think that's what they've looked at. They've slowed it down and looked at that and said no. But I think, Gel, I agree with you. I think that's Liverpool at Anfield or Arsenal at the Emirates. I think it's given. And it's one of those probably where if whatever the referee gives on the pitch, then they go with. So if he
Tim, I'm coming.
then maybe
Tim,
they
I'm
would
coming to you. Ian and Gel, I can't have much more of this mutual loving between the two of you. I like it when you two are at each other's throats. This mutual appreciation society stops now. Tim,
I'm just easing myself back in.
Tim, from your thoughts, your process, what do you think?
I don't know what Gel and Ian are on. That was never a penalty. I think it's exactly the right decision. Sorry, I had to say that just to wind. I had to do that.
I get that. Yeah, you did well. You did. Boy, done good.
No, what does wind me up, and it takes you back to Liverpool a couple of years ago, where we'd scored a goal, and it literally took them over 4.5 minutes just to find something where they could not allow the goal. And it does seem with us quite often with VAR, the amount of time it takes when it's supposed to be for clear and obvious errors, where you can literally see them going, come on, but we've got to find something where we can't allow it. We can't do that. And that yesterday was another example of that to me, I'm afraid.
Just quickly, sorry to say, you get back to the thing in a minute, but so usually it's like FBAR, the fans are singing, but yesterday I can't put they were singing a different song. Was it something like it was killing the game or spoiling the game? Or
VAR is killing the game.
There you go.
That was a Wolves chant.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Just so I just got to say, I know we're going ahead a bit here, but what sums it up, like when with Munos's goal, that was obviously not offside. It was so easy to see, and yet still they had to sit there for VAR to go, oh, I don't know, let's draw some lines, or it was an obviously not offside. It is just ruining the game.
Yeah,
And
that one took even longer. Phillips von David, good to see you before the game yesterday, mate. He was in line with it. He says, no, did you say it was a pen or not a pen? I can't remember. I've lost the comment now. Sorry, cutting edge reporting.
Lee Lockwood said it wasn't.
Teresa, I'm going to hand back to you, but just to let you know, you've gone on ahead a little bit. We've missed out the Mark Gehee early booking on 4 minutes. So
Well, I have to say we did miss that out. I actually didn't see that. I didn't even realise until a bit later on when someone said, oh, he's already on yellow card. And I was like, oh, I missed that. So I didn't even see Gay's first yellow card. I put my hand up. I think my screen was probably buffering.
On the Vino.
No, I was on not a legal streaming site, darling.
The booking on 3 or 4 minutes was on the halfway line. Again, it looked fairly innocuous. A foul, maybe. Was it yellow? It was it was a soft yellow. And Gahey was totally gobsmacked by it. He couldn't believe he'd been booked. And of course, then he had to be very careful. And there were times when he made challenges that you think, well, if he gets that wrong, he's off, you know. And there was this other time, 20 minutes into the game, we talked about it a bit pre-show, where he does catch, I think it was their centre forward, wasn't it, Strand Larson?
Yeah.
He went down like he'd been shot, trying to get Gahey a second yellow card. I think even their manager was appealing to the fourth official for it, not given, of course, thankfully, and not booked a second time and stays on the pitch and has another very good game.
Thank you. At the start of the game, at the start of the my analysis, I should have said that Anthony Taylor was our ref. And of course, we had Sam Johnson in goal, who used to be a Palace keeper as well.
Good
so anyway,
just
after that penalty shout on Sarr, 1 minute later, it was a beautiful ball played upfield to the feet of Mateta, who runs at, there you go, at Sam Johnson. And unfortunately, I mean, the positive was the accurate passing.
Yeah.
The negative was the fact that should have been a goal.
And he's pushed that wide. Right, okay, we're going to hold it there for a minute, if you don't mind. Say, okay, guys, let's do the Jean-Philippe Mateta missed chances stuff. Ian, did you get a chance to have a look at anything earlier on?
Only, I mean, I thought about some chances that he missed earlier in the season, but you know that one yesterday, beautiful ball by Pino through, plays him in. He's 1-on-1 with the keeper. He's got to hit the target. You know, I don't so much mind if he doesn't score, if the keeper saves it, but he's got to hit the target. If he doesn't think he can hit the target, he's got to go round him and slot it in. You know, these big chances, he's missed more XG than any other player in the Premier League, I think. You know, his expected goals, I'm not sure what the figure is, but it's huge.
8.4.
8.4. It's huge.
I'm coming to you.
Yeah, he's only scored 6 Premier League goals, 8 in total. But, you know, I mean, again, you probably would have taken that before the season started, but 3 of those were against Bournemouth. And that was the game where he should have had a 4th goal that cost us 2 points right at the death. That was a shocking miss. He also missed a massive chance against Everton, a game we lost, of course. He missed a decent chance against Millwall in the League Cup that was on a plate. So, you know, he's missed chances in games this season that have cost us points. And yet, you've got to think about his all-round play, not just the goals he scores. You know, he brings people into play very, very well. He's a right handful. He wasn't at his best yesterday. Let's just put it like that. I think.
I'm going to give you all these. I'm going to give you all these stats in a second, Joe.
Okay, so he did look tired, and I thought he needed to come off 5 to 10 minutes before, because Eddie looked real good, looked real quick, looked real sharp. He's got his thing back. If we're going to go down the road of we are 5th after X amount of games, and we are in all the cups and still in Europe after that shocking loss against Larnaca, then he's a £30 million striker. He's not a £100 million striker. He's not. If we sell him tomorrow, we're going to get 30 million quid for him. We're not going to get 67 million like we did for Eze. We're not going to get 50 million quid for him. He is what he is. Now, Nige, just while I'm trying to explain something else, get the first picture up for us, please, mate. What he done, you alluded to it really good, Ian, is that his all-round game, right, is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And he suits us. But the thing, tell me, I'm going to tell you what I can take out of this picture. Sam Johnston's position is majestic if you are a goalkeeper.
Absolutely.
He literally, where he is now, he's got to take that shot now, because if he doesn't, he gets smashed by the 24. If he decides to go round Johnston, he's too far away to go round him. He isn't quick enough. We know he isn't quick enough to go round him. He has to take that shot. That position is every single position. Every time a goalkeeping coach gets a video out and says, "Bosh, do that," and you will make that player hurry. But that goal must have looked tiny to him from there. What do they say? You narrow the angles. He is literally 10 feet in, 12 feet in front of him. I bet he can't see almost any of that goal. The only way really would have been a smash through the legs, and even that might not have worked.
Or a lob.
I
He
thought
could have lobbed
that was great goalkeeping.
He could have lobbed that. Okay.
That 24 is Totty,
because his name ain't Van Persie or Wayne Rooney. His name is Philip Mateta. That's it. He's 30 million quid, not 50 or 100 million quid. He is what he is.
And the other thing is, just to let you know, apparently they have open negotiations now, formally, for an extension to his contract. Sean, thank you, Paul Gear. This is information from Paul Gear today, and I do appreciate you, mate. Jean-Philippe Mateta is the second highest XG of 8.4. So with 6 goals, he statistically has not scored as many as he should be expected to have scored. Again, after Haaland, who is outscoring his XG with 14 goals from his expected 12.6 XG. Despite the missed chances, JP has also the second most shots on target in the division with 18. Again, after Haaland, who has 29. So he's not scoring the chances he has when hitting the target too. Thank you, Paul, for that. I appreciate you, mate. Very good stuff. Yeah, Tim.
Yeah, I think I never used to be his biggest fan, but the difference under Glasner that he makes to our team is worth the fact that he's not quite as lethal as he has been last season. I think yesterday, part of the reason why Johnson managed to get into that position is, if you look at it, JP's first touch wasn't the best when the ball came off, and it pushed him a bit wider, which I think may have put him off line a bit. But again, like Joel said, we're 5th in the Premier League in the quarterfinal of the cup competition, and without JP being as good as he has been, we're still 5th. We're still scoring goals. So we've got to cut him some slack and just let him keep doing it.
I agree. Teresa, continue, please, my lovey.
Okay, so Joel mentioned it. That number 24, that's Totty, who plays for Wolves.
Okay.
A couple of minutes later, there was a nasty foul on Adam Wharton in the middle of the pitch by Totty. Didn't get carded for it. It was just a free kick. In my personal opinion, it was Wolves went out there and they were playing very physically. They were physically aggressive to us. 20 minutes, there was a great strike from Kamada with a beautiful pass from Wharton. Unfortunately, didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, went out for a corner.
It was saved, wasn't it? Keeper saved it. It was on target.
Yeah. At that point, you're thinking, oh, Sam Johnson's going to have a bloody worldie against us. It was a good save.
And I think it's important at that point, Trees, as you mentioned, the Wharton pass. I thought Wharton had a better game to see. Ian, you were there. You agree?
Yeah, definitely. Listen, I watched Adam Wharton play for England for 75 minutes. You know, he grew into that game, but he looked yesterday like an England international playing in the Premier League against a team that were inferior to him, really. And I've seen a couple of Wolves tweets on X saying, look, Adam Wharton bossed that game. Adam Wharton was the man. Adam Wharton was the difference.
He was my man of the match.
We didn't lay a glove on him. And they're right, of course, you know. And then, of course...
I'm glad you mentioned it, because I was going to say this. You and I obviously reading the same socials. Jill, how good was Wharton yesterday?
Well, so I'd tell anyone that will listen, I think he's the best passer of all in the Premier League. Now that De Bruyne has gone, I don't think there's anyone. And make no mistake that when he goes to Man United in 18 months to a year to 18 months time, he will get in that England side, because he is the best passer. He has more vision than anybody. The only thing I did notice, going back to Ian's point about the England game, if we can, because we are talking about a Palace player, is that when he was available, they're so negative. If they'd have looked forward, because he's a forward-thinking player, if they'd have given him the ball, we would have played so much better. He was the man in the match by not even in the same ballpark. He was just the man in the match. No one else. Just amazing.
I mean, I would argue that Yeremy Pino would give him a run for his money. We haven't even mentioned Pino yet, but Pino's goal was unbelievable, and he worked tirelessly. Pino had a great game yesterday. I mean, you know, they both had good games, but yeah.
Did you notice, just quickly? Did you notice about how many shots every time Wharton got a chance, he was shooting? I think that's a new direction.
That's why he wants to get a Palace goal.
Well,
You know,
not just that. We want to see that celebration because you have seen the celebration, haven't you?
Damn
do.
right we do. Damn right we do. I mean, we'll see it in Strasbourg on Thursday night, won't we?
Oh yes, please.
Tim, Adam Morton, class or super class?
I think yesterday was probably his best performance all season, to be fair for us. Finally, I think he's starting to show. I don't know if he had an injury for a bit. I'm not sure. And yes, it was only Wolves, but the pleasing thing yesterday is not only was he playing well, but he was making the players around him play well. Pino was brilliant yesterday. Kamada managed to pass the ball to his own team a couple of times. It was amazing. But a lot of it does come from Wharton, from his vision, the way he plays it. Munoz was going forward a lot more. He was getting the ball. So, yeah, I mean, that guy, I mean, he's class full stop, isn't he?
Absolutely. Anyway, you mentioned Totty. It's lovely to have a bit of Totty on the show, Teresa. So back to you.
Oh, nicely done, Mr.
Let's
Phil
call a
Potts.
segue, a professional segue. On the track.
Straight from the 1980s.
So, Wolves then broke, and they started trying to run at us and trying to break on us. And in about 23rd minute, there was a foul by Gay. Was he lucky not to be sent off, guys? Do you feel that was a red card offence or another yellow?
I have to say, and I saw that after the initial booking, which I didn't think he should have been booked for. That was his first challenge. So I thought he was harshly dealt with there, having such an early yellow card. The second one, I have to say, I did wince. Because he'd already been booked, I did wince. Boys, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I just think the referees know when they've booked a player previously, and sometimes they're a little bit more lenient when there's a second yellow or something that could be termed as a second yellow, knowing they'll spoil the game if they send a player like that off so early. So I think there's an element of that in it. Yeah, it was a foul. But as I said earlier, not all fouls are yellow cards, you know. And we think sometimes when we're watching a game, especially if our players get fouled, yellow card, ref. But they're not all yellow cards, are they? They've got to be a bad foul or an intentional foul for a yellow card to be given.
I was the same as Nick. I was like going, ooh, that could be a card. Obviously, I'd missed the first yellow card. It was only coming to say, well, this could be a second yellow. I was like, oh my God. I thought that it was a foul. I think we were lucky to get away with that one personally.
Yeah, in the chat, you see, Felix von David says the ref realised he'd messed up earlier. Real Panel says he probably would have been booked if he hadn't been on a yellow already. And that's what I said, you know.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's one of those that, you know, he could have got booked if he hadn't picked up one previously.
Off you go, Chi. Keep going, love.
Okay, so that ended up in a free kick. Dino pulled off a beautiful save with a really strong left hand where he pushed the ball away. And thankfully, the reason why Wolves are second is because they put it over the post on the rebound.
I think you'll find that it was his leg, not his hand. It was a very unorthodox save, wasn't it?
It was a deflection onto his leg.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Leg hand. It
was a great save. To be fair, it was a great save because he took a wicked deflection. And
he's going the wrong way. Absolutely, Tim. Yeah. Absolutely. He's going the wrong way.
And the game was literally end to end at that stage. They were attacking, we were counter-attacking, and vice versa. Pino went up and Pino managed to put a shot wide. And Munoz was putting some beautiful low crosses across the goal mouth. Unfortunately, we never got on top of them. No one ever connected with them. My feeling was like it almost looked like people were, rather than going for that sliding, get onto the end of the ball, it was almost like, oh, we might get injured, so people didn't. I don't know what you guys think.
I think it's because we don't have a legit old school number 9 who goes to the near post. That isn't football anymore. There aren't any nines really anymore. No one, you know, it's about a false 9, but if you're going to go to the near post or try and, you know, it just doesn't happen anymore. It's a little bit old school because, you know, when you try and run down the wing, if you don't cross it straight away, which is wasted on our team because there's no one quick enough to be there, then you hold it up, you pass backwards, and then the, you know, the wing, not the wing back, but someone else is going to cross it for you, hoping that the midfield have caught up. So, you know, we're playing in that formation. You're not to be, you know, Pino was brought in now to take Eze's place. So Eze, as we now know, to our own cost, you know, against the Arsenal game, he always arrived on the penalty spot. Look at you know, the edge of the area, the penalty spot, and look at Pino's goal yesterday from the same thing. So, you know, it's we've not got a legit 9, and Mateta isn't quick enough to get in front of the defender. He's more sort of crash plan Waller. But he's more Mark Bright than Ian Wright. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think what we'll get from as time moves on a little bit, okay, is I think with Pino, we're going to get a little bit of Andy Johnson there, where he's making some later runs into the box, and he will be that person getting onto the balls to a Munoz cross ball or something like that, or a Tyrick cross ball.
Pull the ball back instead of trying to go across the 6-yard box. Pull it back to the penalty spot or the edge of the area. We need to be expecting Kamada, Pino, you know, etc., to be meeting that ball that comes in there.
Yeah,
that's what we're playing.
I think that will evolve.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that a couple of times yesterday, didn't we? You know, we saw Adam Wharton for Munoz's goal. It was Adam Wharton's shot. It was then deflected out. A great shot, really hard, low hard. He couldn't have done any more with that. We saw one later on when Nketiah just put it over the bar. It was pulled back to him on the edge of the area. So, you know, there were opportunities like that. And I think they're working on those kind of moves.
I was going to say, I'm going to come back to that in a minute, because that was the tactical change that Glasner alluded to post-match. Keep going, T.
Okay, so we went into half-time. It was 0-0. Came out for the second half. There had been no substitutions, no changes on either team. The only talking points, literally a minute after it started, was Totti with his arms around Mateta. And the reason I mentioned him was he was the one that fouled Wharton early on that should have been a card. He actually got carded for this one, which resulted in a free kick. Then the next talking point, Eddie came on at 60 minutes, was Glasner substituted JP for Nketiah. 61 minutes, there's a corner, and Munoz scores a goal. Yay! Finally, which resulted in a God knows how many minute check for offside.
Can I just say, right, that so Nigel, for the want of people listening at a later date and can't see this picture, Munoz is onside by 5 feet. If you put Munoz on that, get the picture that we've got, and just lay him down, his head will be level with Totti, or not Totti, but with one of their players, a defender. I mean, he literally is a yard and a half at least behind their last player. I mean, it's scandalous how that took so long. I'll tell you what it did. It took drawing lines on the screen. 3 or 4, again, 2, 3, 4 minutes. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And you can see from that graphic, he is not. There's 2 players in front of him that make him not offside. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Keep going, T.
So after celebrations, Munoz pulled his shirt up over his head, which said "Por siempre en el corazón," or which means "forever in my heart," which he got booked for. Even though he didn't take his shirt off.
What was the reference to that, please?
I can tell you that. So Daniel Munoz was released by the Colombian national team because a close childhood friend, close friend of the family, sadly passed away. Okay. I think back in Colombia, and he went home and he attended the funeral, and it was in tribute to that guy that he had the message on his shirt. So sad time for him. But, you know, ultimate professional, played a great game yesterday and rightly wanted to dedicate his goal to his mate he's lost recently.
Is that why he came back from Colombia early?
Yes, exactly that.
Right.
Keep going, see. Let's move it on.
Okay, so 4 minutes later, there was a beautiful ball from Wharton, and which resulted in a beautiful Pino goal, his first Premier League goal for Palace. It was almost inch perfect from Adam Wharton.
Yeah, it's good bowling. It's
To me, it was almost inch perfect. It was inch perfect. And great strike, wasn't it? Great goal.
And
I wish we could have seen the graphic probably 1 or 2 seconds just after that, because the assist from Wharton for the goal, if you'd seen Wharton's reaction, was absolutely fantastic. Like,
what did he do, Jill? I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
both arms straight up in the air, but giving it as really going for it. You know, like, you don't really see him celebrate like that. He's quite level-headed, you know. He might have a little, just jog down and, you know, the high fives and do whatever, but he was full up for it. The other thing as well, saying what was good about it, if you look at the slow-mo, Sam Johnston got his fingertips to it and then it went in off the end. It's everything good about that you want to see. The goalkeeper nearly got it, then it went in off the underside of the bar, in the top corner, and it was a screamer. It was everything good from the pass to the execution. And again, a player that I really like, he's the one that gave the ball away, Wang. I thought we might have been interested in pre-season because, you know, he's terrorised us in the past. I mean, it'd be a good addition to the squad. But, yeah, and then you can see our manager about to dive off and then he slip over.
It was a great recovery from Oliver Glasner, wasn't it? If you haven't seen the video, I thought we might have had a video, Nige, but if you haven't seen the video, it's brilliant. He nearly goes.
He styled it out beautifully.
Can I just say,
Wivels on it, far corner, power, pace, too much for Johnston. Doubles Palace's lead.
It was never in doubt, Nigel, never in doubt.
Nigel, he's always got everything.
I was just going to say, but Gary Clark said, how good is Pino? Just quickly, after we're talking about his goal. So I had to look up some stuff about him. He's 23 years old. He came from the Villarreal Academy. He is, you know, you can see the forward planning now that they knew what we were going to lose, eventually lose Eze. And now we know that he was literally his replacement, because we were thinking, who's going to try and replace Eze? Is it going to be, you know, the young fella from
Essa.
Or Esse, I mean,
França.
Uche, you're thinking about?
No. But
are you thinking of França, the Brazilian, or Esse, the lad from Millwall?
No, the young kid from Ireland.
Devaney.
Devaney.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Devaney's on the pitch.
So, yeah. But I mean, at that position, we have got a good lot of talent to come in. But I agree. I mean, he really looks like he's getting into it, and I think the more that he goes down the gym and strengthens his core strength, he'll get to the use of being smashed up in the air in the Premier League. Sorry, T, we'll digress.
No, that's okay. Wolves then went back up the pitch. They missed an absolute sitter, thankfully, which could have been a goal. It was a beautiful block by Lacroix in 79 minutes. 80 minutes, there was some subs. Lerma came on for Kamada. Devaney came on for Pino. And then 1 minute later, Chris Richard went down. Was it cramp or a hamstring? I'm not sure.
He's all right, I think. They said he was okay. Yeah.
And so then Cambo came for Richards. I must say, if you haven't watched the game, look at about 84th minute. There's a high ball, and Gahey. There's a beautiful takedown of the ball by Gahey. It was like just superb, the skill. But 86 minutes, there's a nasty foul on Munoz by Totti. There's that boy again.
You just like saying the name Totti, don't you? That's
I do.
Yeah,
but in reality, for the previous foul and the foul that you can get carded for on Wharton, if anyone was looking at going off, it should have been him, in my personal opinion, which ended a free kick on the edge of the area, which was because JP wasn't on the pitch. It ended up in a short free kick.
Now that was the change of tactic that the manager was alluding to. They spotted at half time that Wharton was being left unattended on the edge of the area, hence why he put the ball through for Kamada for Pino for his goal. And then Nketiah, they did the same thing from that corner, see, and you're quite right to highlight it, okay, into Walton, Walton to Nketiah, and Nketiah took his shot, top right, and just missed. It was close. It was the same thing. And that was the little change that the coaches on the sideline had spotted, brought to the team's attention, hence why we got what we got. Sorry, you had your hand up.
I just want to come in on what you're saying there, Nick, because when I watched Oliver Glasner's pre-match press conference, one of the things they asked him was about Rob Edwards and how he was going to set up for Wolves. And he basically said, we're not sure, because he might set up differently to the way Wolves have played up until now in the Premier League this season. Or does he set up the way his Luton side set up or his Middlesbrough side set up? And I think he admitted the fact they sort of got it wrong. Some of their homework, the Wolves came out and did stuff they weren't expecting. And it was tweaking it at half time that made a difference. And I think this is fantastic from the management team at Palace.
Absolutely.
Minute detail here.
Do that. I know the small details make so much difference at this level. And it just really bodes well for the future for us. So, but that's the reason we weren't necessarily having the success we maybe deserved in the first half.
Oh, you nearly finished there, T?
Almost. I was just about to say there was 5 minutes of extra time that they found from somewhere. On the 91st minute, Wharton was subbed for, Hughes came on for Adam Wharton, and that was the end of the game. We had 4 shots on goal compared to their 1. We had 51.5% possession. And apparently at XG is 1.35. I still don't understand that shite.
So there's your stats on the screen for the benefit of those watching or listening after the event. Wolves had 1 corner, we had 4. Free kicks 1, we had 13, they had 8. Fouls, they had 13, we had 9. And yellow cards was 3 to us.
Totty had 5 of those.
And Totty, let's mention Totty again. And Wolves had 2. So thank you, Nigel. So Crystal Palace have now 20 points from their 12 Premier League games this season. We've won 5, drawn 5 and lost 2. Their best start to the league season since 2012-2013 in the Championship, where we had 21 points. And the best top flight since 1991-1992, where we had also had 20 points. Crystal Palace have now just lost 2 of their last 18 Premier League games, won 7, drawn 9, and have kept 3 clean sheets in a row for the first time since October 2023.
And in all competitions, Nick, that's 20 games this season. Just 14 goals conceded and 3 defeats, which is pretty damn good, isn't it?
Indeed. Excellent. Tim, anything you want to add?
Yeah, the only thing I was going to say, my only negative from the match was that Sarr seemed to go missing in the second half.
Yeah, Sarr
He
had a
had
quiet
really quiet game.
Yeah, he did.
One thing, unless I missed it, unless I dozed off during your match report, T, did you talk about Sarr's shot? Sarr got a shot away, didn't he, in the second half?
He did.
He ran from the halfway line with the ball, and
That's
players
57
were
minutes.
making angles for him, but he went alone and he forced a save. It was a decent save.
It was. It was a beautiful cross-pitch pass by Pino, which Sarr got on the end of, and it was a good save.
But again, I think you're absolutely right on Sarr. I thought yesterday he was pretty poor. But again, look at the Crystal Palace of 2025. In the bad old days when all we were Will Zaha, if he went missing, we were screwed. We didn't do anything. You know, everyone could admit what a great player Sarr is for us at the moment, but we still get a really good 2-0 win, even when he's not playing at his best. So, again, you're looking at it now compared to a couple of seasons ago, or 3 or 4 seasons ago, and the difference is chalk and cheese.
Thank you, mate.
I'm so glad to see Pino coming good, because there was I thought for the first couple of games he played for us, he just kept the ball too long and kept getting dispossessed, kept giving the ball away. And I was like, he's a bit
the other one I want to highlight is something Joe alluded to earlier on, that Mateta should have come off maybe 10 minutes beforehand, because Nketiah, and you're right to say it, Joe, is looking sharp, man. Do you know? Would you give him a start on Thursday, Jill?
Do you know what? I think it would really help if we, instead of just keep playing this exact formation, is if we could switch it up to a 4-4-2 or a 3-5-2. You know, flood the midfield and have two up front, because I really think that he would benefit from flicks. You know, even if they're not headed flicks, then he's cute with his feet. You know, the one touches and that he used to play with Eze. You know, he's good enough to read his mind. You know, if they practice it enough, he's got the pace for it. So, but yeah, no, I'd like to see. Even though I screamed for years.
I was about to say, Jill, hold on a minute. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to interrupt you. You've been advocating on this podcast for 10 years. Nick, why can't we try through and back? And now you're advocating the 4-4-2.
Well, no, I'm not. But what I'm saying is that with Glasner, with most of our other managers, it's always been a struggle. So therefore, you go back to Allardyce and everyone to save our season. Now we've got someone that doesn't just have like 2 plans or 3 plans. You know, there's 4 plans, and then you've got other people that are around the whole squad, like we've said, that can just look at that little tiny and affect a game. The little side. No one marks our players on the edge of the area. Give him the ball then, you know, from a free kick. So it's just knowing those little, the little bits and pieces make a difference. But I'd like, you know, if we have to go, sometimes we can have our own game forced on us, and we do look a little bit lacking when Chris Richards is being run at. Now, I like him, and I want him every game. I want him to play every game, right? Because there's no one with a bigger heart in the squad than him. But I do think that sometimes a rigid 4-4-2, you know, to leave everything on Mateta to get smashed on his own every single week, it looks like it might be taking its toll. And we've got a game, as you know, as Wharton said yesterday when he was interviewed. You know, it's every 3 days. We have a game every 3 days, and it's 3 to 4 days. You know, we play Sunday, Thursday, and you know, it is stressing on some of them. So I do feel that it would help him to have an ally up front instead of having to, when he's got his back to the goal, that he's got someone, you know, that he's got someone by his side. I think he would play. I think he would complement his shoulder.
The 210s should be doing that, shouldn't they? To some extent, not completely. If you're playing a dual strike force, but you know, Sarr and Pino should be there to support and play narrow, so that you've got Munoz and Mitchell on the flanks. And you know, it worked to some extent yesterday. You know, we saw crosses into the box from the wing backs. But that's how we play, and yeah, it's difficult because I don't think you'll change Glasner's mind. I think 3 at the back is how it is, and yet sometimes I think it's those 2 central midfield players as well. One needs to go forward a bit more, and they've both got the ability to do that.
I'd like to see Hughes used in Europe as well.
Yeah. It'll be. Last time we called these changes for a European game, we got it hopelessly wrong. He went completely full strength. So be interested when basically we don't know, do we?
Yeah, but it's almost a bit like if we could borrow what the England rugby team's doing now, where they don't start necessarily with their strongest players. They keep them on the bench and bring them on with like a third or a quarter of the game to go to make an impact. But like Ian said, for me, the problem, you played Lerma and Hughes in the middle, is just too defensive. There's no creativity there. I think somehow you need to change it for Europe, but you need to create some creativity in there. Otherwise, it just becomes stifling, I think.
I agree. So I'm going to move it on a little bit, guys, because I'm conscious of the time. What's up next for Palace? Palace visit Strasbourg in the Conference League on Thursday, the 27th of November, 8 p.m. kickoff, GMT, before hosting Man United on Sunday, the 30th of November at 12 o'clock. Now, I want to talk to you, first of all, if you're going to, Nigel, take that down, mate. We'll come back to that in a minute. For those of you that are going to Strasbourg on Wednesday or Thursday,
You go.
I'm on the 8 o'clock out of St Pancras, 8 o'clock train out of St Pancras on Wednesday evening. So if you're on that train, come up and say hello. If you're in Paris, come up and say hello. And if you're in Strasbourg, come up and say hello. Ian, I presume you're going as well?
Yeah, I am. But what time are you going to get there then? If you're leaving at 8 p.m. on Wednesday night?
We're getting to Paris at 11 o'clock. Our hotel is right next door to Gare du Nord.
Are you staying in Paris on the
We're
Wednesday?
staying in Paris.
Oh, that's a nice way of doing it. Okay.
We've got a night in Paris, and then we're going up on the bullet train, the French equivalent of the bullet train, up to Strasbourg the next day. And we're coming back on that.
We're on the Yaz, Paul and I are on the 9:30 on the Thursday morning out of St Pancras.
Well, if you don't trip over me in the street, I'll probably already be drunk by then. Tim.
Yeah, just a quick information notice. Do not drink alcohol in the streets of Strasbourg because it is a criminal offence and you will be arrested. Public information notice there. So in the bars, pubs is fine, but if the police see you drinking while walking along the street and it's alcohol, they will arrest you. So
who made you the red and blue health and safety executive? I don't remember that appointment.
We were told that in our meeting. You would not believe the regulations, the rules the club are having to go through for every UEFA game. It's just, but the police over there have informed the club that any fan seen drinking alcohol, not just Palace fans, if they see any member of the public drinking in a street, not in a pub, they'll be arrested. So yeah, just be aware.
Thank you for that. I think.
All right.
Go on, Joe.
I just want to raise a point out of the comments.
Yeah,
so Paul Bristow, the font of all knowledge, really, said Daniel Munoz is now on 4 cautions and has to go without seeing a Premier League yellow between now and Newcastle away on the 4th of January to avoid a suspension. Just get it over and done with. Just
take it
in the 89. Right. Take someone down or do whatever.
Man United.
Right. Don't forget, this is exactly the same as last season. Exactly the same as last season. This time last year, he was also on 4 yellows, and he got his 5th one. I think it was against Arsenal in the Carabao, so he missed playing them in the league, and we shipped 5 against them. I think that was last season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he missed the Arsenal home game.
Topic of conversation, guys.
5-1, wasn't it? The 2 games that we lost, yeah.
So we're going to keep the formation as it is on Thursday night. Then, lads and lassies, any change in personnel?
Well, the only player he might change, he might give Tariq Mitchell a rest at left wing back, play Sosa because he quite likes him in Europe.
Agree.
And he just might rest JP and play Nketiah. I wouldn't be surprised at all. In fact, I'd quite like that in a way.
I'd rest. I'd put Devaney in the midfield as well somewhere. Yeah. And give the midfield. The midfield is just such hard working. But yeah,
I think we missed Lerma a little bit yesterday. We had a free kick where they aimed for the far stick and Richards missed it, whereas Lerma might have got his head on it and headed it back. The Lerma leap.
Remember change the goalkeeper as well?
No, I don't think so.
Yellow cards of the Premier League are now competition specific. Thank you, Paul. Very good.
Okay.
Very good. Very good indeed. Okay,
that's why he's on the show.
But how do we get? So, guys, how do we get around the issue of the Thursday, Sunday, and losing our Sunday game again from the Man United game? It's a quandary that's been there for many years with lots of different clubs. How have we been so far on the Sunday game? Can you remember it?
Yeah, we lost to Everton, didn't we? And we drew with Brighton. They're the 2 most noticeable ones that are sticking in my mind right now.
So how do we get over
that? We lost at Arsenal as well after Larnaca.
We've got to get over. We've got to find a way. I mean, we've already alluded to the fact that he's a very strong tactician and he's got a good background staff around him. We've got to find a way of getting over that speed hump of the Thursday, Sunday issue. How do we go about it, Tim?
If I could tell you that, I'd be in Glasman's position and he'd be sitting here on the Red and Blue review. To be fair, it's a difficult one because what's cost us is not taking chances that we've made. So we're making chances. We're obviously playing well enough to make chances, but we just haven't taken them. So I don't really think he should be doing much different than he's doing now.
Okay, Joe.
Nick, the only way of doing this is to rotate more, which we've talked about. But we know
I agree.
Glasgow doesn't like rotating much. But I think Trevor Meadowcroft makes the point in the chat that Strasbourg are our toughest European opposition yet. They lie 4th in Ligue 1 in France. They lost to Lens 1-0 at the weekend away from home, who are above them in 3rd place. So they're having an okay season, but they'll be looking at our league position thinking, blimey, they're not bad, are they, that Crystal Palace? So it should be a good game. But when we come to, I think we'll go almost full strength on Thursday. When it comes to playing Shelbourne away and Coups, the Finnish side, we should be able to field weaker sides, starting 11s in those games and still win.
Dependent on Thursday's score. So
of course, absolutely.
So you brought it nicely round to where I wanted to get to. Would you settle for a point on Thursday?
If it meant beating Man United, probably yeah.
Okay, and the chat. What are your score predictions for Thursday night, please, Joe? You wanted to make a point.
Yeah, sorry, you asked 2 questions in. I'm not saying that it's slightly weaker because I don't think there's a lot of we're not necessarily making our squad weaker when Devaney comes on or when Hughes comes on or when Nketiah comes on or when our goalkeepers swap. I think that we've got at last said it at the beginning. I haven't seen it. Ian said at the beginning of it, he hasn't seen a stronger bench. You can't remember seeing a stronger bench for Palace. So what that means then is we are replacing players like for like. I mean, you would have screamed blue murder 6 months ago if you'd have played Pino and put Eze on the bench. So, it's just... It is what it is. But anyway, going on to that 2-1, and then on Sunday, I don't care. We have to beat Man United. My son-in-law's Man United, and I hate Man United.
Teresa, your predictions, please, for Thursday and Sunday.
Thursday, I think we're going to win 2-1. Thursday, I think we can win. Sunday, I think we can win 3-1.
Wow. Ian?
Yeah, I'll go 1-2, 2-0.
And Tim?
2-0, 1-1.
And I'm going to go a draw on Thursday night, and I'll be happy with that, coming back from Strasbourg with a point, because that gives us...
Are you going to Strasbourg, are you?
Did I mention it? I'll be happy bringing that back in my suitcase, because I'm not plastic like you, okay? And I believe it's going to be I think Man United game will be tougher than people are thinking. Don't be fooled by their league position. Don't be fooled by the league position.
If they beat us, they climb above us. As simple as that.
Exactly that. And I might, I think I'll be a little bit pessimistic. I'm going to go draw both games. Unbeaten, but a draw both games. Out in the chat, I'd love to know what you think. Nigel, can I have the I'm conscious of the time, upcoming fixtures. Thank you, mate. So obviously we just alluded to Strasbourg and Man United, followed by on the 3rd of December. Tough for you going up there. Whoever's going up to Burnley, and Ian, I'm sure you're one of them, on Wednesday the 3rd. Congratulations to you. Good luck to that. That's a horrible...
No, I'm not actually. I'm plastic. I'm not going.
Yeah, you need to get a life, mate. Okay. On Sunday, the 7th of December, we are away at Craven Cottage. Then we got the trip to Shelbourne. That'll be on TNT Sports. That's on the 11th of December at 8 o'clock. And then probably one of the hardest fixtures this side of Christmas, I would guess, is going to be home to Man City. But, as we've already seen this weekend, they're beatable. They are beatable. There's only one standout team in the Premier League this year, and that's Arsenal, of course. Joe.
Phillips on David said, apparently us that can't get tickets are plastic. So, I mean, you got just try harder. I'm joking. I know there's only a few tickets.
And his mobile phone number is 07.
But It's sad, really. I mean, you could just find out where Parish lives and go around his house and ask him why. But no, I mean, there's only a certain amount of people. I don't know, because obviously I can't afford to go these days. But is it first come first served basis, or is it?
No, it's a point system, mate. Point system.
Okay, so it's not even you can get put into a hat and just draw the tickets out. So,
We are going to be in Red and Blue Review. Are going to be represented by Paul Gear and Yasmin Broom on Wednesday. So I'm proud of you. So well done. So without even asking you, I'm telling you, you're both on the show next Monday, because I need somebody to talk about the Burnley game. And that wasn't a please either on the end of that. That was just a full stop.
A demand.
That's a demand from me. And listen, guys, it's 9 o'clock. I'm going to say, Ian, thank you as always. Jill, great to have you back on, man. Let's make more of it, please. Teresa, congratulations on your match review. And Timbo, you're looking gorgeous, mate. I've got to tell you. And thank you for your health and safety tips for Strasbourg. The next show will be on Monday, the 1st of December, starring Yasmin Broom and Paul Gear. On behalf of everybody connected with this podcast, I thank you for your contribution, and take care, everybody. Those going to Strasbourg, including me, safe trip, everybody. Good night, all.
Bore him on the train, please. Someone really boring sit next to him. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, guys.